Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Monogatari. Tonight we're on episode 11 of Koyomimonogatari. Also, 11, by 11, I mean 12, too. Whoa. Because, yeah, this is a double feature of 11 and 12 of Koyomimonogatari. Reason being, I was told these are good together, so we're going to watch them together. The kind of play in that regard is, I guess, going to be... we'll do a little recap episode 10, you know how it goes, and then episode 11, we'll read the chapter 1, watch episode 11, then read the chapter 1 of episode 12. Then watch episode 12. There's also an afterword for that's like a 12.5 that comes after 12 that I can read. I don't know if I'm gonna do that this episode or like maybe start of next episode just because of length, but we will see. We will see. I'm so used to these like nice little 12-minuters. That's like, oh, we're making we're stitching two halves together to make a whole. Whoa. So like we'll see what happens. All right, it's time to get back into the full length ones. But yeah, so let me just boom get episode 10 comments up. Episode 10, the TLDR is basically Ononoki puts Araragi on her finger and then walks around with him to look for. She says she's looking for something and kind of that's how she's tricking Araragi to go along with it. But in reality, she's parading Araragi around so that Kaiki can see Araragi coming to ensure that no conflict happens there. So she basically just clutches it out and like make sure nothing goes wrong when things could have very well gone wrong had Araragi been left to his own devices kind of deal. But yeah. So, let's go into comments. Comments, I shall say. One of the things actually in the episode 1 as well, or the chapter 1 as well, let me just re-say Ononoki's one of right here. Tunneling through the earth like a mole, I think that's probably the safest way for me to travel. It's because there are no people around. That's, something we've been looking at as well. This freaking list, by the way, goes so hard. Holy crap. I don't know, it's just, I like, it's so helpful because it's so easy to forget, like, the themes because you're also having to keep track with the plot. So, like, just the little tidbits, they're tasty. One of the big things that I like in like what we're kind of currently going on in the show, which is said pretty well here, is like, and I was just thinking with Rhodes a minute ago of how like with love specifically, it can be both good and bad, positive and negative, or negative, right? In that like right here in the comment, it's the idea of poisonous love is said at the end of Koi by Kaiki. Love can give strength with Araragi and Senjo. Love can give weakness with Araragi or Nadeko, right? So it can do either. And then we also kind of get that with like Shinobu, right? Shinobu, well, it's in this, another comment kind of goes into that. I'll get into that in a second. But it's just, what's interesting to me is it's like, how do we determine whether something, like let's say love, is giving strength or is giving weakness, right? How is one to parse through that? Because I almost wonder if like there's an element of perception involved where it'd be like my own analysis of the love makes it positive and or negative, just in so much as like the Rhodes thing, right? Because like as much as like the Rhodes thing has very largely been like what path are we taking through life, blah blah blah. But we've also like some of these different chapter 1s have been about like, oh, like what if I have my eyes closed, right? Nadeko was like, she's focused on her feet, she has no idea where she's going. Like what happens in very directly when I'm not perceiving the road in front of me? So I wonder if you could like maybe not even with this like love thing or just like whatever, but I wonder if there's a way we can say that like our perception of something, our perception of the road we're on, not even just not seeing it, but just different ways we could see it, could like lead us to different places. In that like Araragi walks down the road of love, but his own perception of that or way that he walks down that road of love is what either makes it strength or weakness. You kind of get what I mean? That's just like a random kind of thought I had of that. So, I don't know. We're putting a pin in a lot of these ideas. It's easy to spin off into tangents. So, let's just see how the show kind of throws some stuff at, and continue to bounce off that. But that's just kind of, I don't know, something I was thinking about right before I started up the episode. But yeah, this I appreciate as well. So, the full line of Oshino's people can only help themselves, it is funny. I think this is super true that like it's repeated so often that it like maybe it's even losing some of its meaning. Uh, and I think that's fair. I mean, I definitely forgot about, like, perhaps some of the additional context of when it was first said, because, we've heard it repeated so many times, but only in this little bubble of people can only help themselves, that it's almost like I wonder if the repetition of it without this, like, addendum of I can only lend a hand, which does underline, like, a hand being able to be lent, which would make it non-independent. I wonder if the repetition of the people can only help themselves, which, like, without any other context, is a pretty individual statement. It's not exactly like, it's like saying you can only help yourself, right? I wonder if the reason it's repeated in isolation so much is because that's what, like, it's Araragi projecting, kind of, where it's like Araragi's perspective. I mean, at least all the way back in the start of Kizu, I know that's a long, long, long time ago, but was, as kind of said here, independence. I don't need friends. Making friends would degrade my human strength, blah, 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 blah. So I wonder if there's, like, some part of him that's, like, latched onto and somewhat altered Oshino's phrase. And so he ignores the additional context of I can only lend a hand and is focusing only on the, like, people can help themselves. Because it's like he only hears what he wants to hear, kind of thing. I'm not sure if that's even really the case, because I don't know, it's hard to, like, even imagine, like, a super independent Araragi to a degree, just because he's always got, like, Shinobu with him, right? And he's always trying to, like, help other people. So his own way that he approaches everybody else in his life is to lend hands, or lend, like, more than a hand, i.e. his entire, like, well-being, his entire life. I can only lend my life, that's, like, what Araragi does with all the people around him, right? So I don't know. I don't even know if he's necessarily internalized that, but just, I don't know, random thought. We're doing random thoughts today. That don't even lock into things. Let's go. But yeah, and then the kind of combining of these, I really like this Western brain thing of, it sounds spiritual, like, I pray to a god to give me the strength to achieve X, not the X itself, you have to do it yourself. All right, not the X itself, you have to do it yourself. Yeah. But just that line of, I pray to God to give me the strength to achieve X, because, I mean, I think that's super, like, you're still achieving X, right? At the end of the day, like, the way I would want to, like, say that and kind of detach from the God part would be, like, if I'm, like, trying to help someone out, and it's like, yo, like, you don't believe in yourself, use my belief in you. I believe in you, so rely on my belief for you, okay? You don't have to believe in yourself because I believe in you, right? And so you're giving them that strength, you're giving them that belief, and then it's still up to them to do something with it, right? And so in one way, like, lead a horse to water, but it won't drink, or whatever the phrase, right? Like, people have to sip from the river themselves, but that doesn't mean that people can't lead them to the river. And then in as much as it's like a give me the strength to achieve X, I mean, that's like, honestly, a pretty OP way to think sometimes, where, I don't know, it kind of goes into, like, my self-delusion grind set maxing. Sorry, let me stop with the freaking Zoomer language, but, where even if I don't necessarily, like, even if one person were to not believe in something, just saying, dear person I don't believe in, give me the strength, I feel like that can even be used to, like, gain strength, like if you, like, what I would imagine is, like, an atheist person that's like, God help me out on this one, like, not even as a joke, but it's just like, F it, like, I don't even care, I'll ask anyone, that kind of thing I think has a unique power to me. I don't know, I'll parse that later, that doesn't even have to do with the show. Tangents, I love tangents. Okay, it is really the connections which give you the strength for yourself. I mean, beautifully said. Exactly, right? Like, the interdependency on other people, not codependency, but, well, hopefully not codependency. Codependency could be codependency, but just the relations with other people strengthen you, which is completely contradictory, as said, to Araragi's previous sentiment. I mean, like, even freaking Ononoki clutches it out and with this entire last episode, right? Where betters Araragi's circumstance, right? So, like, to what degree could Araragi even avoid this, right? Or, like, your connection to Shinobu, do you think that's, like, strengthened you? I mean, I would say it strengthened you in that it's strengthened your, like, well, I would imagine it strengthened your resolve to stay alive, because your livingness is now directly responsible for Shinobu's livingness, right? But it kind of comes down to like, okay, what is strength? Araragi saying making friends would degrade my human strength. Like, how exactly is he defining human strength? Fun freaking what word meanings of strength as in tensile strength, as if he would snap, and then also having to do with like Superman strength for like a reference or something. Tensile strength like he'd snap. Snap is such a that's like a crazy thing for him to say, is it not? Because like think about it, like snap. I feel, and maybe this is me spinning off because it is a translation, right? But snap makes me think of like a mentally snap, like you're being pulled, you're in stressful situation, and what he describes as human strength is your ability to not break under that pressure, right? I would almost like want to say resilience, as opposed to like strength. If we're going for like a tensile thing, in which case he would be like, oh, my attachments to other people, what would you say, like being vulnerable with other people would degrade my ability to be strong in and of myself. But yeah, I mean, I would disagree with him. No man's an island type behavior. And I think, we're seeing a lot of that with how the show's progressing. So, I don't know. Yeah. And this relates to Ononoki in the chapter 1. She's seemingly that monster Araragi thought he was, as he tried to push Shinsuke, also pushing himself onto Nadeko, but he was only hurting himself on the pretense of pure emulation, inhuman. And Senjo helping. Yeah, and that's another example. Like, your Senjo go, like, dude, the craziest thing? This entire arc, he's been getting help from other people, He's been getting assistance from, like, Hanakawa lending him a hand. Like, literally multiple times, whatever the story has happened, and he's called up Hanakawa and been like, yo, this is the situation. What's going on? And Hanakawa explains it to him. Hanakawa's lending a hand so he can understand what's going on better, right? Like, you're not alone, and your ability to understand oddities and I guess just the world as it is benefited from Hanakawa. So, at least from Kizu, hopefully he has internalized that behavior and is aware that having friends has at least strengthened, maybe not whatever he's going for with human strength, but at least has strengthened your ability to, like, parse through the world and all these freaking 7-layer smoke and mirror distraction nonsenses that is always occurring, right? But yeah, Araragi just came from Senjo's house going over the failed Scantron. Now he's getting ready for college entrance exam. And then, another example, right? Like Hanakawa with helping on all these oddity things. Senjo Gahara helping with the exam constantly. Hanakawa helped with the exam previously, all that kind of thing. It's just like... It's like egocentrism, bro. Like, you were supposed to solve this issue when you were like, what, 5, 6, 7 years old? That's when your egocentrism starts to fade. And you're like, wait a second, there's other people that exist. Like, whatever. Is that usually when that is? Because it's like, dog, hello. No, it's not even necessarily what it is as much of I'm unaware of, like, other people's importance, but more so that he thinks independence is strong. Like, there's a difference there, but... Kind of fun. Also, this just sounds crazy. Like, he is dense and in dire need to carry his own weight, all the support he could use, all this chaos centered around him, sown seeds. Poetry. This feels like a haiku, bro. But it's not a haiku at all. But it feels like a poem. In dire need to carry his own weight? Because, yeah, people gotta help themselves. Like, it's... You want me to tell you what it is? I got the perfect analogy. You're in an airplane, it's crashing, you have to put on your own oxygen mask before you can put on someone else's oxygen mask. You gotta stabilize your situation before you can stabilize someone else's. Or else you're bringing all your unstable onto them. Yeah, Araragi, you're bringing all your unstable, all your chaos onto them. And then you're not helping nobody. And then in that way, you're just, like being masturbatory and making yourself feel better by thinking you're helping other people when really you're making it worse because you're a mess yourself. How do you think of that, Araragi? I don't know. Yeah. Last episode was a good Ononoki episode. I think kudere, that's the term for like the emotionless type thing. They're always there to save people's asses and care so much they just can't properly show it. That nonchalant already helped you silently before you ever even said anything is just so sweet to me. It honestly was. With this episode specifically, and we've seen it kind of previously with what the frick the name of the arc. Was it Hitagi and the one... I'm so bad with the names. Where it was him and Ononoki and they had Tadatsuru. That was Hitagi. No, wait. Yes. Yes. Because that was no. That was Yotsuki Doll. That was Tsuki. I got it. It was Tsuki, right? With Tadatsuru. Yeah, the Tadatsuru one. I mean, it was kind of the same thing where she was like trying to teach him something in the best way she could, kind of deal. Araragi is telling you how it wants to be told. The stalking in the mouth is more him continuing his banter with Hanakawa, kind of degrading himself, and then pushing in the responsibility to Shinobu is deflecting the joke. Is more so just deflecting as a joke to further hentai-ify himself. No, yeah, I mean, I could see that for sure. I mean, he's done that kind of thing a lot of times before, so that totally lines up with how he is a lot of the time. This is pretty crazy to me, most specifically in here, the part of the Ouroboros, like the focus on like the self-destruction part, in that like the snake loops around and is eating itself, you know, seeing starving snakes devour their own tails. That, like... And because, I mean, that's immediately ties so well as this kind of goes on to... I mean, I would almost like vampirism's different, but it's on the nature of consumption, right? Like, you're consuming somebody else if you're vampiring someone else. But it's like, you want it to be a crazy piece of imagery is if, like, a vampire trying to drink their own blood, you know? And for the... And that's not obviously what's happening in the show, but, like, that's kind of where it would almost be, like, they would wish they could, though I don't think a vampire can do that. Like, obviously they're trying to feed on other people. That's kind of the entire point of vampirism. But instead, like, the analogy used is the donut, we could try to say, in that instead of feeding themselves, let's just say Shinobu, right? Instead of Shinobu, well, no. Shinobu is doing self-destruction because instead of feeding on life, on like the proper lifeblood, they're eating donuts, right? But it's interesting because like self-destruction and immortality usually in my brain wouldn't go next to each other, right? Which is kind of the crazy thing with Ouroboros as a whole, because if you're destroying yourself, how are you immortal? And I guess the answer is recreation, you know, because as much as you destroy, you also reconstruct, which I mean, almost makes me think of the Koyomi mountain with the shrine being there, where like the old shrine is lost and then the new shrine is created. Or like, could you ship a Theseus with an Ouroboros, where it's like would Ogi have the same problem with like an Ouroboros type creature that constantly destroys itself and recreates itself? And because eventually it'd be like a new self, right? Once you destroy it enough and recreate it enough. Ogi, how you feel about that one? Would you consider that a lie of itself because it's, you know, making that transition over? Or like, what's exactly, how do we parse that? Ogi Oshino? Forgot your last name for a second. That's crazy. But yeah, the union thought, shadow integration, I think does make sense. In like, I think I can kind of get where that goes as well. Though I need to freaking read more Jung before I can like really full send that. I'm gonna be honest. Hey. All I know is that I don't know anything. Socrates grind set. The Ouroboros is actually just self-destruction, trying to subsist on a donut diet because you don't want to rely on or burden the lifeblood of the guy who forced you to live, insisting on the self-destructive path. But just like love can turn into poison, this poison can also turn into offerings of love as your relationship shifts, at least in her perception. Just like love can turn into poison, this poison can also turn into love. Just gotta chew on that for a minute, you know? Because, like, is it just about context, you know? Like, where the road is in context to its surroundings? To try to use the road analogy, where, like, how do we know when love turns into poison or poison turns into love? Is it just in context of the relationship? Like, I guess that, like, I'm so curious about it because we've heard things like from Kombudu's mom of like, if you can't be water, then be a poison, or if you, rather than water, be a poison, or whatever the term. Like, this idea of choosing what you are and flipping things and inverting things, and like two contrasting things that like kind of a yin and yang. It's kind of yin and yangy to me, right? Where like they're opposites, but they're also two sides of the same coin. I mean, that's what I would like to use. Where it's like love and poison are two sides of the same coin. But then with the focus on like the donut, right? Inside the donut, the two halves, and there's the hidden donut inside the cream filling, right? And we squish it together, and that's when the problems arise. It's like we have the two sides of the same coin, but like the middle of the coin, where it's neither of the side, that seems like such a thing that's got to highlight in the show. So I'm trying to understand both sides of the coin better so I can figure out what exactly is the issue with the middle of the coin. You get what I mean? Or do I just sound insane? Hana Clowna? Subtext? But yeah. So, okay, let me just keep going. I might go back to that. The genre discussion's fun. I like psychological... Like what I might want to say is... Because I think psychological mystery does fit pretty well. Though it's... Because like this thing here where it's... the comment says, I kind of settle on psychological mystery because the add-ons of comedy, harem, or supernatural really don't capture what the series is actually about, because that's all just window dressing used by the narrator to obfuscate the real story. Like, I think that's largely true, but I almost still want to try to include it in the thing where, like, you might say the genre is a psychological mystery masking as a harem supernatural comedy. But then it's like I'm making the genre into like an entire sentence, which does like that's not usually how genres work. But I think the most fun part about Monogatari is trying to figure out like what exactly is trying to be hidden beneath all the nonsense, right? So psychological mystery, like I think that is a large part of the core of what like is there. But what's fun, it's a jawbreaker, man. The fun part is cracking the layers of it's like an onion. The fun part is peeling the layers of the onion, going through the layers of the jawbreaker. Like that's where I'm the most engaged. And so the surface level cutting into the deeper level is like where I'd want to like try to describe with the genre thing. In which case, saying like such like a psychological mystery disguising itself as a comedy, a supernatural comedy with harem elements, like that would be kind of fun to say. But I don't know, like I feel like that might be defeating the point of like the genre thing, because it's like, what are you just gonna go into like whatever anime ranking thing or whatever anime series thing and go like, let me just select psychological, mystery, comedy, harem, and supernatural. I guess you could do that. But I think people would look at the show and be like, what the heck am I even looking at? How can I have all these genres at the same time? In which case you would go, that's the crazy part. Figure it out. So real, honestly, by the way, too, of like, you shouldn't recommend or admit you watch the show to anyone you actually know anyway. I definitely have done that to people I know in real life, to mixed results, just for fun. The line of, by looking for something that can't be found, I was made easy to find by the con man, which translates to trying to do the impossible makes you susceptible to deception. As much as it applies to Kaiki, which it definitely does, and it applies to like the current situation, it's also fun to like try to apply this quote of like the translated quote of trying to do the impossible makes you susceptible to deception, trying to also apply that to like Araragi's self-deception of perhaps like trying to reach impossible ideals makes you susceptible to self-deception. That's almost what I would want to say like could be a thing going on with like within him, you know? So where like his impossible tenets of justice, of what it is to be human, all those things, has sent him down a spiral of like self-delusion, and you know, yeah, it's crazy. Like deception is like a large part of the situation, but it's like not in totality, so it's hard to just use deception. But yeah, I'd want to even apply that to like Araragi's inner conflict, even more than just being susceptible to like external deception. Just taking the idea further, you know. Which definitely does connect to the Nadeko episode, right? Like, she's literally trying to do the impossible. Though it is funny as well that, like, she completely sees through Kaiki's deception. I might need to rewatch some of that low key. But yeah. Also note the scene of sleeping, unaware human and monster self being watched over by the true monster. Karen, Tsukihi being watched over by Ononoki. As already says, that's exactly what happened to him. We'll rewatch that scene for sure. I mean, it's just that shot of her at the window, like, chilling, looking over him. Watched over has an interesting connotation to it. Especially because Ononoki, the quote-unquote true monster, is, like, clutching and, like, helping Araragi out so much and doing, like, these what do we call it? What do we call it? Freaking like silent, nonchalant. Those are like nonchalant helpings and such. But yeah, this I liked as well. This true. No need to apologize. I appreciate the discussion no matter what. The trying to like take the night darkness thing of like a conscious or unconscious thing. I like the idea of applying that to the road specifically, where it'd be like navigating a road at night would be like attempting to navigate, let's say, self-introspect on your unconscious mind, on how you work unconsciously, you know? that could be an interesting like way to take it. In which case, it's like you might attempt to analyze kind of the things behind your ego, right? The things behind your motives, the deepest unconscious things within you, you know? Trying to analyze that, and like oddities kind of being like the dangers of like where that can take you. I think it's only a partial part of oddities. You know, oddities are like so many things in the show, but at least with the road metaphor, I really like it in that it's like I'm walking on, like, even just, dude, in terms of just straight up like aesthetic, how it sounds to me, the idea of depicting a self-introspection, self-analysis as walking through a road that is lit sparsely by street lights in your own darkness of your soul. I mean, I just, it's crazy to me, right? So it'd be like I don't know, like, let me delve into my own soul real quick. That's me walking down the road, but then the streetlights would be what my attempts to. What would the streetlights even be in that analogy? Like, it'd be like a flashlight, like my attempts to understand and view it. In which case, Aragi sees Shinobu under the streetlight, which is like a representation of perhaps like a death drive, suicide, like self-martyrdom, desire, etc. Which then, now that he's like realized it and comprehended it, has become a big issue to him. So it's like he dragged the thing out of the night into the land of the day through delving into his own mind. Like it's like he delved into his own mind and then realized the desire to die, which is represented by Shinobu. You know? But, I mean, to a degree, can you just leave it in the dark? Like, it almost feels like you should deal with this kind of stuff. That is just to say, though, that I do like this analogy of, like, let me read some more of the comment of, as in, you're not aware of the oddities because you can't see them due to the darkness. In contrast, the light would represent the conscious mind or awareness. And so walking on a road at night is dangerous since you don't know what kind of monsters you might encounter, even if you do have streetlights on the road. Yeah, so I'd almost want to say, like, the streetlights in the road is your conscious mind probing into the unconscious, right? That you've lit the way so you can somewhat acquiesce and understand your unconscious mind, you know, these little holes of light that you've punched into the night, and that's your ability to like acquiesce your unconscious, which is only the tip of the iceberg of what's there. But in times it's enough that something big, aka the king of oddities, Shinobu or Kishot, can walk into your conscious mind's little peering into it. It's like a danger, but the way that, like, I feel like making that analogy would be like underlining like a danger to self-introspection, or at least introspection into the unconscious mind. Perhaps like this is like improper shadow integration kind of deal. But I'm not freaking well versed. Let me go read the freaking extra reading materials of Carl Jung real quick so I can understand Monogatari. Like, holy crap. But yeah, like an improper shadow integration, like that's what this conscious mind peering into the unconscious would kind of represent. Or like the light of the mind into like the normal self into the shadow self kind of deal. But yeah, I do like the idea a lot. It's not like the night citizens disappear. Being blindfolded is effectively the same as walking without lights. I would say it's even worse, so you can't even tell if it's day or night. That said, monsters might not be as scary as you think once you get to know them, you know? True, and I mean, that kind of comes again to perception. Like, I feel like there could be such an interesting thing with, like, the road, as much as it's important where the road takes you, it's also important how you feel about being on the road. You get what I mean? Like, even if you were traveling, even if 1 million people traveled the same road, they're not going to all have the same experience because they're all going to have their own interpretation of what this road is to them and their own lived experience of that road, you know? Like, so I feel like there is a degree of self-perception that could be interesting there. But yeah, it is pretty funny to think that Kaiki never mentioned that, yeah, Araragi's just getting paraded around. Real. Yeah, Hanakawa is the goat. The duck is real. The duck's a Monogatari reference. I'm not going to go into that. And then, yeah, apparently Koyomi Awari thinks it's going to be crazy. I'm going to take a moment, and we're about to go into the scroll through and then chapter 1. I'll pull up the scroll through so that people skipping in will be more likely to see this. The everything I'm okay. So I'm obviously in a unique position with the show because I'm watching it with a bunch of people telling me things, and by telling me things I mean like the discussion, right? And also like watch order debates, that kind of thing. Like that does kind of give like little clues into what's going on sometimes. So I'm just kind of leveling where I think things are in a way to like make sure we're all on the same page. Blah blah blah. I don't feel like I've been spoiled or anything, but like I'm just let me clear things up real quick. So I am aware that Koyomi 1112 is could be considered a spoiler for Owari, right? Owari's the next one. And so what I'm thinking is that something happens in Owari that we can also see we see the ramifications of in either episode 11 or 12. And like that could be a character looks different, that could be Araragi says something, whatever. Maybe Ogi freaking has white hair or something because of like that one chapter cover had Ogi with white hair. Maybe that's nothing, but probably to do with Ogi. I'm gonna be real. Ogi, I think, is the huge blank mark that like it's gotta be Ogi. Ogi's the thing. Okay, we all know Ogi's the thing. Okay, but the question of or like yeah. So just in that, I think in episode 11 and 12, I'm gonna get some sort of like reveal in some sort about probably Ogi is what I've kind of been able to assume. I don't know if it's an assumption, but that's also can be considered a spoiler for Owari. So like I'm very aware of that, and I verbalize it so that it doesn't look like I'm a freaking savant if I say something that like has been based on that, you know? Because it's kind of one of those things where it's like if I and this is just to peel back the curtain a little bit. Ooh, watch out. Hachikuji would say, be careful. It's careful. You gotta be careful pulling back the curtain. Hachikuji. Where it's like, if I'll say something about Ogi, and then all of a sudden, 99% of the Discord is spoiler text. And it's like, is people doing spoiler text that I can't read? It's like, now that Ogi's on the screen, people are talking a lot more about the show and using black bars. I wonder if it has to do with Ogi. You know, or like, just like even the YouTube comments, like we do if people go through and check them, but there is, you know, I can read between the lines a little bit if I want to, you know, and try to make some assumptions or whatever. So it's just, I don't know, that's just me trying to, I guess, like humble my own experience, and so I, you know, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I don't even know where I'm trying to go with that. I'm just trying to make sure we're all on the same page, okay? Because I don't want to be deceiving y'all. I don't want to be lying by omission, okay? I don't want to just avert my eyes from the situation before me. Me trying to just throw a bunch of monogatari stuff at the screen until it hits. But yeah, okay. But there's anything in this episode that's even too crazy? I see, it's the little girl piggyback event. It is pretty funny that I still feel so bad that the idea I had the entire episode, Araragi posits to Hanakawa, and then Hanakawa goes, no, that's not it, like immediately. Because it's really I thought it was just Ononoki wanted to hang out with Araragi. I mean, that's the thing I was saying during the episode, right? But then really it was the whole, like, we're dodging Kaiki, or we're helping Kaiki dodge you, in that we're helping you get, like, I'm distracting you with something impossible, deceiving you, in so that we avoid conflict, right? But that's the crazy thing. Like that's what Ogi's perspective on lying is so different than like I don't know, no other perspectives of lying. Like the hard line, I seek to punish that thing, is so important. It's also crazy. Like I mentioned this before, right? The hypocritical nature. Ogi's literally lying to us about being Oshino, right? Being an Oshino niece, like constantly. That's literally, you are a lying creature. So it's not like why are you fine with lying if you're also blah, 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 you know? It's just Araragi's lying because it's I don't know, self-hate masochism, baby. Because it all attached to Araragi, baby. Shout out Ononoki, by the way. Shout out Ononoki. But yeah, dang, I'm kind of excited for these episodes. Did I have anything ready to say? Hanakawa just being chilling at a spring? Because they're trying to distract me, I guess, with being all honkers. When you say you've been using a lot of your vampire powers, it's also part of it. A useless defeat. Araragi do be the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and over, expecting different results. Kind of wild to me. I kind of want to just jump into the episode. I'm just excited because I know people are freaking out about these next 2 episodes. So I know something happens. That's kind of what I meant by the thing earlier. Like, I know something is going to happen and something is going to be revealed. And I have a couple ideas of what that might be. So now I know it's imminent, you know? That's the crazy thing. Which has got me excited and got me like, how am I supposed to care about Ononoki right now when something crazy is about to go down? And I'm trolling a little bit, but yeah. Let me just jump, honestly, let me just jump into the next chapter 1. I kind of want to just get the ball rolling, okay? Holy crap. I've really been here for that long yapping? It's so much later than I thought. Okay, bet. Episode 11. Let me get chapter 1. Okay, chapter 1, episode 11, chapter 1. Whoa! Did I open the wrong one? Page 1. Okay, wait, no, this one was just put in. Koyomi nothing. Huh? Void. The hole in the donut. Okay. Picture? Is that Kagenui? Kagenui? I think that's Kagenui's outfit with the stripe. 2nd of February. Ooh, okay, yes. How long is this one? A nice little 2.5. Okay, so we're gonna read this 11, then we're gonna watch episode 11. Okay. Kagenui. Kind of a... I mean, totally makes sense. We're kind of running out of other characters to do, right? Throw in Kagenui. When I say that Yozuru Kagenui doesn't walk down any road, oh my goodness, that's a crazy idea. It's neither a metaphor nor some impressionistic high-concept declaration. She literally never sets foot on the ground. Every day of her life is governed by that constraint, which on its own makes it sound like a children's game. Lava game. Living, proceeding, almost as if she were playing a one-woman game of King of the Hill, where the ground is an ocean or the abyss, and you can only walk on raised things like stone steps or concrete walls. The first time I encountered her, she was standing on top of a mailbox. Well, it might be a game if an elementary school student were the one doing it, but she's a grown woman, so it comes off as pretty damn eccentric. Not to mention the fact that elementary school students can play that kind of game because they weigh so little, whereas it's pretty difficult for a grown-up. By now, I'm sure I don't need to tell how impressive her physical prowess is, but I found myself wondering if that prowess might actually be the result of the daily conditioning this eccentricity affords her. However you dress it up, though, eccentric is eccentric. A little too eccentric to touch upon, so I've never asked her about it directly. Eccentricity gives you strength. Interesting. But as far as I can tell from what I've picked up here and there in our conversations, and from a certain origami enthusiast, Tadatsuru, there does seem to be a real reason, or at least, it's clear she's not just doing it for the physical conditioning, nor as a game. Of course, even if there is a reason, I doubt anyone could uphold such a norm without some real drive. As her enemy, or as someone who's battled her head-on, battled and been driven through like that norm, well, I can safely say no one else is as scary as she is. I've met quite a few experts in her field, Oshino included, but I have to say Yozuru Kagenui is the scariest of them all. I'm terrified of her, so much scarier than an aberration, so much stronger than a demon. An Onyoji, who drives out aberrations by beating them up, has to be rarer than an aberration. Then again, it's precisely because she's that kind of person that her behavioral principle is so straightforward and easy to understand, while at the same time being irregular. The randomness of never walking on the road is perhaps symbolic of her irregularity. That reminds me, she told me once that she specializes in immortal aberrations because, quote, with them, there's no such thing as going too far, end quote. But I wonder, can I take those words at face value? While her methodology may be easier to understand than Oshino's or Kaiki's, she's the most antisocial of the whole bunch, the biggest misfit. There's something I'd be curious to ask her, a human being who nonetheless dwells in a darkness darker than an aberrations, and who doesn't walk on roads. I want to ask her, what is a road? I'm pretty sure she'd answer, roads aren't the only places what are good for walking. Ooh, we walking on the grass. Okay. Huh. Roads aren't the only places what are good for walking. And this is specifically what Araragi thinks she would say, right? So that's potentially an interesting distinction. I never even really fully realized that she's never walked on the ground before. Like, she's definitely done that thing, but for that to, like that's actually kind of crazy to consider that. I don't, like, in retrospect, it's like, dang, maybe she really hasn't ever stepped foot on the ground. She's always doing something weird. And she's got those, like, high, really thick heels, too, you know? So it's like she wants herself to be separated from the ground, you know? Just straight up through height, if nothing else, right? And in jumping on, like, mailboxes or whatever. The randomness of never walking a road is perhaps symbolic of her irregularity. It's interesting, like, the darkness... Okay. These are the lines that I think are crazy. Roads aren't the only places what are good for walking. Crazy. But then also this line of... a human being who nonetheless dwells in a darkness darker than an aberration's. That would almost feel like contradictory, right? Where like the aberration is supposed to be the thing of the dark. So for a human being, and specifically a human being that's like very respected, if not just straight up feared by Araragi, for that human being to be the one that dwells in the darkness darker than aberrations, it's like, okay, so a human can do that, right? In Araragi's perception, human can dwell in the darkest of the darkness. So what can't a human do? You know? Araragi, what makes a human a human? I feel like I gotta untangle weeds just to figure out what you mean by human. You know what I mean? Yeah. The roads aren't the only places that are good for walking is interesting too. Because, I mean, we have like Ogi who says, okay, a road is a road because you would... Like, that's the thing. It's like the walking on the road versus what a road is. Right? Like Kage Nui here isn't answering what a road is. She's answering that the usually what we would assume the utility of the road to be isn't only found in a road. Like, she's not saying what a road is. She's not even quite saying what a road isn't. She's just saying that the normal thing you'd prescribe to a road is found in places that aren't even roads, right? Like, it's a separate thing entirely. But I feel like it almost cuts through to the reality, like, the deeper level of what Araragi's maybe going for, you know? Unconscious, like, aware or not. In that it's like, as much, it's kind of what I was trying to say, right? And maybe I'm just projecting at this point, but like, the road itself is a thing, sure, but the way that a person walks upon it is also so important. I mean, let me go back to the comments of like these ones here, like, okay, like these different ones, right? Hanakawa's like, okay, road's a road, bet. Senjo, it's more like you're walking along and suddenly somewhere else, somewhere you don't recognize. So the road can take you, you know, you can just be somewhere else on the road. Hachikuji says the road is defined by as you walk upon it. And so if you were to stop walking, it would stop being defined as a road. Kambaru, roads you can go backwards, right? Again, like a point of the road. I mean, they're all in that they are walked upon, right? Like Hachikuji's is literally defined by your ability to walk on it. Kambaru's is literally defined by your ability to run backwards on it. But for Kage Nui, like, we're taking the road out of the equation and just going full on the walking thing, saying like we can walk anywhere, you know? Yeah. Because I mean, at the end of the day, the paths before life is one thing, but I think the reality of Araragi's line of questioning is how people walk, right? How people approach life, which can be guided by roads, can be done in the sky, can be done underground, can be done, as Ogi says, where you make like roads are roads in that they're made. In the modern world, the goal of roadways lies in the very act of opening up the path. But then we have freaking Kage Nui coming in and saying, dog, you don't have to walk on an opened up path. You can walk on any path. Like, a path is a path, you know? Like, roads are the only places, you don't have to open up a path to walk upon it, right? Yeah, it almost feels like most counter to Ogi's. The contrast between elementary and grown-up is interesting, too. Where this thing that, like, it makes him think of an elementary school thing, but because she's an adult, it loses its elementary school, like, game. Like, it loses the game part because of her being older. So the same activity done by two different people would be two different things, depending on, like, what you are. I mean, that makes sense. I would agree with that. It's just to what end, like, you know? Why? Why are we saying these words? What do these words mean? But why, Araragi? It's neither a metaphor nor some impressionistic high-concept declaration. She literally never sets foot on the ground. She's like an elevated human. She built different. Can we even call her a human if she's this built different? You know what I mean? I mean, yes, but... yeah, because I guess the road... Araragi, what is a road? Araragi, can you answer the question? Yeah, I don't know. Let's jump into episode 11, I think. Hopefully we can get some thoughts more crystallized as we go into this episode. Ooh, this doesn't have a new OP, right? Because 8 and 9 were omitted, but these ones people weren't saying nothing about. So, what's gonna happen here? Maybe it will be a new OP, but people are just fine with it? I don't know. Are you fine with it? You might not be fine with it. I'm sorry. All right, let's just jump into this episode. Episode 11. Get it going in. Dude, I'm scared. I'm scared. And then we're gonna read the next. We're gonna read the next chapter 1 after this episode. And then go into episode 12 right away. So yeah, episode 11. Let's get us going in a 3, a 2, a 1. Bang! Kill me nothing. I could have read into the nothing part more, but we'll just see what they do with it. Let's just see what they do with it. Month of new growth. I mean, Ogi is the void, right? Ogi is the darkness, the thing that consumes the black hole. Oh, we're fighting. Is this like a fight, or are we like training in some way, you know? I mean, he's making Mario sounds. Do you hear this guy? Yahoo! I'm pretty much been holding back this time. Challenging to a fight. Okay. Late February, it just said. Training. Yeah, okay, training. Because you can't just use your vampire powers, right? Yes, yes. You gotta use it. Like, Kagenui's the build different full human scent power. So let me get some knowledge of that. But why? How did you learn it then, without dying? She watching over? Dude, she jumping on the cones. She was based back in kindergarten. She's standing on the offering box. Okay, interesting. Yeah? I was about to say, join what? No, Araragi, don't pretend. The Araragi harem. About staying human and getting big. Oh, thanks, Koyomimi. That's terrifying. Thank you. I made her as my college project. Okay. Big brother Ashino, big brother Kaiki. He's getting, I feel like he's getting close to something, which is why, what did she, yeah. Yeah, the way he was, the way she looked at him, that was like a, yeah, that was like a, he definitely cracked her. Ow, stop grinding your foot into my brain. Ow, ow. Wait, is Ononoki gonna be something crazy? Wait a second. Ononoki, hold. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh yeah, give me some Karen practice, some Karen swinging. I'm not gonna just help you. Yeah. Ononoki. Wait, what's inside of Ononoki? I mean, I know we've been saying like the whole. Okay, we've been saying the whole like true monster blah 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 blah. But I thought we were okay. Let's just see. Pudding. Aragi, stop getting distracted. Can we go back to the fight? I'm gonna have to. What was your fondling analogy, Aragi? I'm gonna have to rewatch the fondling analogy. Would you rather get fondled when you want to or when you don't want to? It's like, oh, I'd rather when I want to. Was that it? Okay. Ooh, boxer, boxer. Boxer, boxer. Hey, hey. Hmm. Oh, Tsuki's having fun. Hmm. Whoa, into the brain! Into the atoms. He looks like Steve Jobs. He looks like Steve Jobs. Oh, Ononoki and a thing. But to lose gracefully. Punchline? Are we gonna make it construct a false chance of victory? Okay, you in that? Okay, and that was Tsukihi's hair. Yeah. No. Yeah, I was about to say you can't do that, dog. I can't keep using my vampirism. However, I can borrow Shinobu's abilities as much as I want. Hmm. A gun, a donut blaster. What, are we gonna load it with pistols? Ping, ping, ping. Or with donuts? After ding, 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 ding. From a punch or a bullet or a donut. A fool like me. Ka-pew! I mean, are we gonna succeed somehow? I feel like we're... If he's intending to fail, then he might accidentally pop off. I mean, I would not expect Adaragi to walk up with a donut blaster. I'm gonna be real. Are we gonna see something crazy? Who's here? Hello? I don't see anybody. Hello, darkness? Hello, darkness? Hello, darkness? There's a hole. There's damage. Is that new? Some cones are knocked over. Did she get darkness? Who did it? Hello? Hello? What do you mean? What do you mean? Are people gonna start going missing? Are we just gonna repeat the Shinobu thing? Or was she defeated, right? Because they did say undefeated specialist, so I'm thinking maybe... Did she get defeated by Ogi? Or did she or did she get consumed by the darkness, which is Ogi? But like... Or neither. I'm gonna have to look again if there's new damage. If there's new damage there, you know? At the shrine. I was the one who pushed you forward. Okay, and then him being able to borrow Shinobu's abilities as opposed to in using his own internal vampirism is interesting. Cause yeah, I mean you're not being a vampire by using a vampire's ability, right? If it's not you. Though, so is there a negative consequence to that? In that it like disrupts his humanity? Like, I mean, no, right? Because I mean, Kage Nui has Ononoki helping her, right? It's not like working with oddities makes you an oddity. So it's almost like Ononoki is, or it's almost like Shinobu's being used as Araragi's familiar in that he's using her abilities for his own benefit, right? What is there new damage? No. This break is here. The cones are some of the cones knocked over? Give me some of those cones. Give me some of those cones. Cones. I mean, I'm not seeing any knocked over cones. Oh, no. One left, one right. Cone consistency. Clutch it out. No, I mean, cones don't look like extra messed up. They're just kind of coning. Gone. Nothing. Undefeated... What'd you say? Undefeated specialist or whatever? The lifelong undefeated specialist Kagenui was gone. And to be gone in this location is pretty crazy too. Like, obviously. Okay, let me hear the freaking... So, basically the Karen thing again. That's my Karen, you're so dumb. Okay. Right here. So maybe you've just been driven... Okay, no. Low back. Aren't you just being refused indirectly? Oh, because it's like, you're never gonna get a hit on me, so... Oh, you want this information? Get a hit on me. Right, like that's just a refuse. But it's like a soft refuse? Yeah. Because instead of saying no, you're just giving an impossibility. You're giving an impossibility, which allows for self-deception or something, right? Well, just like, if it is truly impossible for him to land a punch on Kage Nui, then him being distracted by the opportunity to land a punch on Kage Nui would, as per kind of the thing last episode, potential, like with Kaiki and getting paraded around, would mean that maybe he's getting deceived in some way. Which is that the question won't even be answered, right? At some point, you start to wonder only about how to land a shot on this person, rather than the question. Yeah, so it's you've been distracted, right? Smoke and mirrors. Which, bro, it's like it's crazy to hear this show say that. Like, look, you were conned by a character because they distracted you with something, and therefore you weren't paying attention to what to something else. And then they give me a scene of like, oh, look at Karen Bath and freaking a bunch of pudding scene, you know? Where was that? What? Where did there it goes. I knew I didn't imagine it. So it's like this show, you literally distract me with stuff all the time. That's the way I cope with it. But yeah. Okay, what was this again? I'll fondle your breasts, blah blah blah. Well, with a condition like that, I'm also prepared to concede. And she's like, wait, no. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. What was your little wordplay here, Araragi? Having your breast fondled by your brother when you'd like versus having your breast fondled when you wouldn't like. Oh, so it's like, oh, just like it, forehead. Like, wouldn't you prefer it if you liked it? Wouldn't that be better? Better? I'd rather what analogy can we do here? That this is an analogy for being deceived. I'd rather be deceived when I would like to, when I'm deceiving myself, as opposed to being deceived by somebody else. That's completely Hail Mary. Don't go too deep into that one, unless you want to. It's also like a yeah. Yeah, so basically the punch thing was you getting deceived, or like distracted, basically. And this for him is a freaking gigabrain breakthrough. I feel that. Expresses her adult, yeah. And then Karen says, let her save face. Don't call her out on this and just lose, right? Oh, so it'd be like, okay, she's saying, don't, you've hit a sensitive issue, don't push it any further, is what Gaen I's saying. But she's giving this impossible offer as a way to, like, give him a soft refusal. And so Karen's saying, okay, you've noticed it's a soft refusal, accept the soft refusal, right? Give a mock show of, oh, look, I tried, and then fail intentionally so that blah, blah, blah. Though the crazy thing is this entire situation with getting the blaster and everything, we show up and it's like, oh, wait a second, she's not even there. Which almost makes me want to say that, like, this is it's like a double layered thing where it's like, we've been distracted by, he was distracted by this opportunity to fight her for information, where in reality, like, it was impossible. But then it's like, boom, we were distracted with thinking we figured out how she works, but guess what? She's not even there. Like, it almost feels like we could say it's the same thing twice, but it's not exactly the same thing twice. So I guess I'm just smoking crack. No OP? Huh, why was there no OP? I don't think I got an edited copy. I think they just didn't have an OP for this one. Maybe I'm tripping though. What was the, like, little blippy blip? Okay, calendar story, Koyomi nothing. Chapter 1. Month of new growth. The seed was sown and now it grows. And we were trying to train with Gaen I when we got hoed. Koyomi nothing, because she disappears. It's crazy that she disappears. Because, like, she's the ultimate specialist, the one that's feared the most, the one that he respects, or, well, fears, let's just say fear. The one he fears the most, the one who is the human that messes with the most darkness, was explicitly, like, the darkest of darkness, got yonked. So I'm willing to, like, I kind of want to assume that the darkness is what got her yonked. The darkness being Ogi, but I don't freaking know. Why else would she be gone? I mean, she could have just been gone for another reason. But I almost, like the way it's framed leads me to think that, like, she's gone in a way that she didn't plan to be gone, right? It wasn't like, I mean, though she could have, but the way I'm thinking is, like, it's not that she got distracted by something else and left, but it's that she's, like, missing. I mean, it's called Koyomi nothing. Though she could have just left, maybe, like, because we have, like, they're all focused on Adaragi because he's kind of the mess. Maybe they're all trying to, like, distance from him for some reason. But I would rather guess that it's more of a, like, she got yoinked. But I have no idea. Like, imagine if a bunch of characters just start going missing. Like, oh, you thought it was bad we lost Hachikuji? Oh, get ready to lose them all. We're about to knock them all down. Oh no, please, don't do it. And, like, the human, like, she's so human, you know? I mean, she's the human with the familiar, Ononoki. Is Ononoki gonna be freed in some way now? Like, what's this do to Ononoki if she gets yoinked? I mean, that just seems like this is the start of something, like, horrible and, like, an incredible imbalance, you know? If the undefeated human balance, like, specialist gets destroyed and disappeared in some way. If that were to happen, then that'd be, like, bad omen. Hugely bad omen. I don't know. Let's jump into episode 12. Oh, no. We have to do the chapter 1 for episode 12. So let me, bing, get chapter 1, episode 12. Covers combined, page 1, page 2, JPEG. Okay. Covers combined.png. Oh no, I'm taking a sip. Ugh. Gaen I, where did you go? Okay, this is just a cool group photo. Ogi, Gaen, Tsukihi, Ononoki, Gambaru, Senjogahara. Oh, who is that in the difference? It's Nadeko, Karen. Tsukihi's over there, yeah. Hachikuji, Shinobu, Hanakawa. Look, I remember all their names. Okay, but, yeah, nothing really too crazy. I mean, you know what the craziest thing actually is about this? They're all looking away except for Hanakawa and Kagenui. Senjogahara is kind of trying to look back, but Kambaru's completely looking away. All on the left are completely looking away. All on the right are completely looking away. It is funny that Tsukihi and Ononoki are on the same side. Does the sides matter at all here? Karen, Hachikuji, Senjo are on the same side. Ogi is so far away. And Shinobu. Yeah, so Hanakawa and Kagenui are we can actually see their faces. Does that matter? I mean, with Kagenui now being disappeared, like, I feel like Hanakawa is the most clutch being alive, right? Like, Hanakawa would be the one to figure things out if things started going haywire. So, for Hanakawa to be looking at the POV is really interesting. Though this is also Twin Braids Hanakawa, right? So this is, like, way back, right? Yeah, as opposed to, like, Tiger Stripes Hanakawa. So, yeah, okay. Next. Koyomi dead? What do you mean dead? That's terrifying. I don't want to click next anymore. Koyomi dead? What, we just gonna find her corpse inside? Koyomi dead. Dead tree sound like? Okay. Gaen with a sword. Okay, Gaen with a sword, and what? Is this like a shogi piece or something? Is that cut in half, or is that just chilling? I think it's just two pieces. They don't have the same, like, icon split in half. So no, two pieces of, like, a board game. Gaen with a sword. Is that the freaking Shinobu sword? Heart Blade, whatever the name of the sword is. I forget at the moment. Gaen. Are we gonna ask Gaen? I guess maybe we're gonna, like, Adaraki will go to Gaen to be like, yo, where did Kagenui go? And then Gaen's gonna, like, give some sort of crazy revelation or something. In which case, the chapter 1 here is gonna be asking Gaen about roads. Okay, I mean, I don't know. 3rd of March. Okay, so this would be a few days later because it was late February. The last one was. Okay, a little over two. I don't know what Izuku Gaen thinks about roads, that is to say. I don't know anything about her. I don't know anything about that woman who goes around brazenly pronouncing, pompously declaring that she knows everything. I know that she's Meme Yoshino, Daishi Kaiku, and Yozoru Kagenui Senpai, and that she's Surugu Kambaru's aunt. But that's about it. If you call that level of knowledge knowing someone, then I guess I know pretty much everyone. Funny. Then again, all it takes to become friends with someone in modern society is knowing their screen name and cell number. So in that sense, she and I are perfectly well acquainted. And above all, Izuku Gaen does refer to me as her friend. Even though she doesn't really know me very well. Or does she? Maybe she knows me the same way she knows everything? If so, well, that wouldn't be all that surprising. It wouldn't be a surprise if I took up a tiny micropercent of her vast array of knowledge. But that would mean that she has a handle on me, which isn't necessarily a good feeling. Hey, I relate to that, brother. Because unlike Tsubasa Hanakawa, when she has a handle on something, it's more like she has command of it. And that right there is the difference between Hanakawa, who, quote, only knows what she knows, end quote, and Izuku Gaen, who, quote, knows everything, end quote. An analogy to shogi should make things clear. I may have a basic knowledge of how the individual pieces move, of how I can move them, but Hanakawa understands the sum of her forces as an army. That's having a handle on things, the ability to connect and synthesize knowledge, the ability to link pieces of knowledge with one another. Yeah, it's not just encyclopedic, it's cross-connection. That's what it means to be an intellectual. You could also call it the difference between trivia and knowledge, but Izuku Gaen doesn't just understand her own forces, she understands the enemies as well, though her view isn't so unilateral as to see the other camp as an enemy at all. She sees the pieces lined up on both sides of the board as a single collective army, a unified unit. And that's what it means to have command of something, to have it in the palm of your hand, to hold its fate in your hands. In one sense, that means that she's the kind of all-around shogi player who can sit on either side of the table, who can go first or second, and it doesn't matter. But being seen as, quote, one of them, end quote, by someone like that goes beyond not necessarily a good feeling, it's full-on creepy. Because even if she calls you a friend, that only means that you're a five-sided piece with the word friend on it. Friends can be useful. The path of friendship has a certain utility. That's all. Which is to say, nothing more than that. Then again, I don't know how the friend piece moves. Huh? Araragi, what does that mean? What does that have to do with roads, Araragi? I don't know. The path of friendship has a certain utility. The utility of friendship? In one sense, that means that she's kind of an all-around shogi player who can sit on either side of a table, who can go first or second, and it doesn't really matter. But by seeing is one of them like that, someone goes beyond... it's full-on creepy, because even if she calls you friend, that's only because you're a five-sided piece with her friend on it. I mean, that's... I mean, this, like, no wonder he does... Like, this is obviously he doesn't like the girl, right? Like, I totally get that, right? Of, like, this kind of thing of... I don't like people having a handle on me. But then why aren't you bothered by Hanakawa having a handle on you? I mean, that'd be my question immediately, right? So, but that means she has a handle on me, which isn't necessarily a good feeling, because unlike Hanakawa, when she has a handle on something, it's more like she has command on it. Oh, when Gaen has a handle on something, it's like she has a command of it, as opposed to Hanakawa, who... Because Hanakawa only plays her forces, where Gaen has a handle on all forces. That would be the difference. So it's that part of being able to play both sides that bothers Araragi, as opposed to Hanakawa, which is synthesizing her own side. Yeah, it's like the omniscient part, right, where it goes from beyond being incredibly intellectual to being all-knowing. You could so easily try to tie on to the whole, what's it called? To the whole, fate, right? To the whole, Araragi feeling like a puppet, or like he doesn't have control over his own life, or like the whims of fate, right? Like Araragi being like, oh yeah, it's just the whim, like I'm guided by the winds of fate, that kind of thing. Whereas with Hanakawa, right, she only knows what she knows, so whatever she doesn't know, you still have control over. But with Gaen, if she knows everything, then like you truly don't have control over anything. Like she has control over everything because she knows everything. She can play both. She can play every side of the board. There's a crazy analogy of like both sides of the board is a single unit, and that's what it means to have command of something. Control both sides. I mean, both sides is a crazy thing because it's like the darkness and the light, the human and the oddity, the sun and the moon. You can control both. The conscious and the unconscious. I'm still not 100% sold on that idea. So yeah, it's like, dang, what is... I mean, Ogi must hate Gaen. Because Ogi... well, maybe. Well, the reason I say that is that Ogi straight up is like... bringing unrelated things together is where conflict comes from, you know? That was like a line from Ogi in Koyomi Mountain. So... if Gaen is playing both sides of the board, then I feel like that'd be bringing things that aren't supposed to be together into one thing together, and Ogi would be like, that's a problem. That would be my gut impulse. Yeah, and also just feeling objectified, because even if she calls you a friend, that only means you're a five-sided piece with the word friend on it. Araragi doesn't like that, like, coldness, I suppose, where you're not actually friends as much as you're used because... she considers you a friend. Like the utilitizing of it gets rid of the heart of it. Like commodifying, bro. You've been commodified by Gaen. Huh. Well, that's terrifying. Okay. I'm glad it was indeed shogi. Let's jump into it. Let's just jump into this final episode of the season. See what happens. Freaking no idea. No idea, man. No idea. Episode 12. Let's get going. In a 3, a 2, a 1. Bang! Don't make that red text. Thick growth? The real sword sliced me. Oh, he gets killed by Gaen? Early morning, I ascended the mountain staircase. It had already become a habit over the past month. He keeps going back there? Okay, it's been a month, almost. Why do you keep going back up? But even so... Whoa, he just took his thoughts that he was saying and said it out loud. That's unusual. Has he done that before? No, he's gonna get murdered. Who's gonna murder him? Gaen? Gaen had the sword. I got bad news. I got bad news. Nothing. Koyomi nothing. Let's go Gaen. What do you mean serious? The vampirism? The shrine. Oh, okay, Yozuru. By what? Good question. Gaen, stop playing coy. What is this? What are you petting me? You petting something I can't see? What are you doing? Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, she said come here? Is that what that means? In the way of what? Okay, yeah, I mean... And Ononoki was kind of the thing taking care of the Araragi's lack of oddities, right? It was kind of a stabilizing force. Yeah, say exactly what it... Yeah. Ogi. Karen? Why are we cutting to Karen? What is going on? I'm panicking. Stop giving me Tsukihi booty. I don't want that. Ogi! That she would lose the oddity part of her and then she would get munched. Senjuga's dad. How? Wait. Okay. Oh my goodness, I'm panicking. Ah! Is Senjugahara fine? Is Senjugahara fine? That car braked in time, right? I heard it braking. Just stop with the roads, bro. I don't want your road analogies. You're scaring me. Scary. Yeah. Yeah. I hope we don't get rid of Shinobu at some point. That'd be really brutal. Oh, episode. Trying to win Shogi without having any of your pieces taken. Oh, yeah, we're losing our pieces. Kaiki! He got band-aids. Yeah, so you're losing your pieces, bro. Oshino! You're the king, bro. Is that Hachikuji? Dude, what is happening? Who are all these... Araragi's mom! I knew she was gonna show up. She was in the ED. Why'd you look at me? Who is the king? Yeah, no, you're the king. I would say you're the king. As for this town's king... Oh, there isn't one. Oh, is that what the shrine represents? Okay. She's drawing her manga. She cut her hair. Oh, she looks cute. You're playing down a king? That's actually funny. Kamaru. Where are we now? Oh, Hanakawa. A lawless zone. No winning or losing. We've lost our, like, red or green. Okay. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna... I can't do... Oh, she's fine. Okay, bet. True. Now what? You're gonna cut him in half? What are you thinking? Dragonfly? A restraint for what, God? We've lost all our pieces. Yeah, we've lost a lot of pieces. She's the queen, bro. Well, that's for chess. I don't know shogi very well. Yeah, stop the bleeding. Is that why Koyomi sent Ononoki to me? That's a crazy shot. You can see her over there. No one can stop you if you act. The other side! Okay! Please! Please! Please. The other... Well, what is the other side? The first to act becomes a loser. Quick draw. Bing! Because it's faster to react than to draw? Isn't that a thing? I don't remember. Cutting you in half with my sword. What do you mean the other... You mean Ogi, right? Who do you... Do you mean Ogi? Hello? Who's calling me? The darkness. Well, yeah, the darkness. Like, I'm with you there. Is it personified, though? Oh my goodness, this phone call. Answer your phone! The original Oddity Slayer? That is so sad. Wait, who... I don't get it! He can't just be dead, though. You can't just kill Araragi. But how do you get him back if he got killed by the Oddity Slayer? Oh, no. I don't know, man. I don't know what they're doing. I don't understand. Okay, so Gaen kills him because he's the source of the darkness. Sure, I'm good with that. I'm fine with that. That makes enough sense to me. I can make that work. The other side, I'm just going to assume Ogi, because that's who I had personified as the darkness in my mind. So, boom. Good. Killing him kills Ogi, I would assume, or at least stops Ogi from being able to act, because it's tied to Araragi. But then, why is there another season? Like, we're not going to just end with Araragi getting slain, bro. And we cut to Araragi's mom for like half a second there? What? Araragi dead. Death. I mean, I guess we found the end of the road, right? For Araragi. Bro, what's the next arc gonna be like at all? Are we just gonna go back in time? Well, because this is partway through Owari, right? Like, chronologically, I think. There's more. I paused. I'm sorry. There's not usually an after credit. Okay, 10:51, 3, 2, 1, bang. Okay, dude. Where are you, man? Yeah, you're fine, because you're in Monogatari, bro. You're alive. Yeah, I know you come back. What happened? You're not permanently dead, like, no shot. The sun. Tree. I saw a tree next to him, too. She sliced you like cutting like a beef cow apart. Hello? Hello? Is that Hachikuchi? Yeah! Oh my goodness, we're at the land of the dead, bro. Yes. I knew you'd come when we needed you, bro. You said so. You said you'd come when we needed you, bro. Oh my, dude, yes, my sweet Hachi. It was a bright smile that I liked, that I had loved once before. Oh my goodness. You've been watching. You've been clutching it. No, I'm fine with it. I don't care. What do you mean? Don't just end the episode. It ended the episode. Dude, okay. Hachikuchi's back, bro. She said she'd be back when we needed her. She said she'd be back. Didn't she say that? I think she said that right. She said she'd be there when we needed her, bro. The most clutch. Hey, back to the top of the tier list you go. Back to the top of the tier list you go, Hachiguchi. Oh my, what was that thing I saw? What? Who was it? Who was this? There was someone that kind of looked like. Who was that supposed to be? Episode. All these characters. Sengoku. Who is... Oh, you're playing with what was her name? Hinata or whatever? She's playing with her other friend that we met in Hana, right? I feel like I saw Hachikuji for like a split second. Oh my heart. I'm so glad she's back. What a wonderful situation. What a wonderful salvation. Honestly, we don't need to go back to the land of the living. I'm fine here, bro. I'm chilling, man. Okay. Ah. Dude, I thought it would be Ogi leaning over. I was ready for freaking misery. I was ready. As soon as we were in that land of the dead, I was like, I swear, if Ogi wakes up next to me, I'm going to throw hands. Nah, bro. Hachikuji clutch. Hachikuji, how are we going to go back to the real world? Bro, are we going to meet, like... Where's Shinobu? Shinobu's just in the shadow. Shinobu was asleep. What happened to Shinobu, man? Oh my goodness, what happened to Shinobu? And like Shinobu's minion, like the darkness has swallowed people up before. Are they in this same area or no? Where are we? Oshino was able to bring spiritual stability to the town despite the vacancy. Why did we need a king? I trusted that to you, Araragi, and you failed. That's how it's been so far, right? Yeah. So there's no king. There's no helm of the ship. I mean, it has been kind of like a rudderless ship. I feel like Araragi's a bit of a rudderless ship. So I get that. Bro, where's that? Like, I saw like a fake Hachikuji. I'm replaying it. It's like here. Like, let me just let it play. Let me just go. Wait, no. Go. Who are all these characters? Episode. No one on the left. Episode's in the dark area, not the light area. Okay. Trying to win in shogi without having any of your pieces taken. Sacrifices are necessary. It's weird. The shogi analogy is so weird because there's no king, is the point. Even if you're a proud, passionate commander, there's still some pieces that must be sacrificed. Yeah. It's funny that there's all these like random people, like the figurines and the random people with the kaiki shot, because like I feel like that fits with the kaiki. If you try to protect a pawn, you'll lose your king. But, okay, so it's not that we've lost the king. Well, I guess it kind of is. Have we lost the king and we're trying to replace it, or is the king vacant? You get what I mean? Because there's a distinction there. Can't be sacrificed as the king. We haven't ever sacrificed the king, right? It's just that we haven't had one to sacrifice. Isn't this Hachikuji? Is this Hachikuji in the land of the dead waiting for Araragi to show up? Oh my goodness, is that the case? Hachikuji, is this what you look like? No, but you got an outfit. You got in your costume. Wait. I think it is. It's right? Surely. I mean, I don't know who else it would be. Unless I'm literally forgetting a character. Y'all are literally about to be... What do you mean? You forgot about Bachikuji, the second Hachikuji? No, I don't know who this... It's gotta be Hachikuji. Even if all the pieces except for the king are taken, as long as the king survives, you can still win. Araragi's mom just chilling in a freaking transportation device? So there's no king. But for a moment, Nadeko was the king, but we got Nadeko to step down. We didn't actually sacrifice the king. We got Nadeko to step down from being king. Right? Or was Nadeko like a fake king? I would say Nadeko was king, right? Because Nadeko was the god of the shrine. And then, because she wanted Shinobu to be the new king by making Shinobu the god of the shrine through the talisman. But then Araragi said no. Why does Araragi have the power of the town's king? I mean, I would say that Araragi is the town. He is an analogy for the town. The town is a analogy for Araragi, right? Or more that the town is an analogy for Araragi's like ordering of the spirit or something like that, right? That's what I would assume. And so because he's been rudderless, because he hasn't like taken the responsibility to actually commit to like a line of thinking or whatnot that would be represented by making a king. Because of that, there's been a vacancy that has caused chaos. And so she's basically destroyed the town by destroying Araragi. There isn't one. Right now the throne is vacant in this town. That's why so many problems are occurring. Aw, look at her manga, bro. She's just self-inserting so hard. That's adorable. Though it is, it's a fun thing that there's the love interest character doesn't have like Araragi's cowlick thing. So it's not like an Araragi thing. Like I think she's over it. I like her cut hair too. She looks she looks great without it, I think. I like that look on her. Dang. Yeah, I mean, I would say that it's like Araragi has refused to establish a king, and therefore Gaen has come in to destroy him because he doesn't. Because I mean, there's a reason she entrusted him with the talisman, right? There has to be, which means he's the one that decides who the king is, right? And through him, and I think to a degree, like he allowed, like I know like Nadeko took it from him, so that's kind of weird, where it's like he through not deciding kind of made a decision with Nadeko being it, because it's not like he's the one that put her there. But I do think it lies within his being, right, including a conscious, subconscious, whatever, to establish who the king is. And then Nadeko slipped in through, like, what, subconscious or something? I don't know. I'm just saying words at this point. But, yeah, I mean, I would say it's Araragi's the one that gets to decide who's the king is. And that the king is an analogy for, like, the king decides which road we walk on, like the avenue of which to approach life, like the highest ideal or something of that sort. And so, I mean, the vacancy would perhaps be like originally, I don't know, the original king was like when Araragi was like in elementary school was Justice, perhaps like his father or his mother or whatnot, like his parents were the king and queen, but both as the king, right? Not going for the queen part, but just both as the king, as like the tenant of justice, but then that was eliminated. Because I mean, even think about what the king is. The king is that which cannot be sacrificed, or else you lose. Like the king is like the line that you won't draw, right? The compromise you won't ever make. The thing you won't ever risk, like the thing you won't ever allow to be lost. Like you will compromise, you will get rid of everything, but it's like the core of your game, the core of who you are, right? That's what I would take the king analogy to be. So, like the most fundamental of your ideal, and so Araragi's lived without one of those, I suppose, which is where all the chaos has come from, right? The lack of a head. I mean, like you could, yeah, that's what I would say. The king represents. That's my guess for it. And he's been trying to play without the king, which has led to a busted game. Like it's busted from the start. And so yeah, going through the different characters or going through the different pieces, of which Hachikuji was like, I was about to say a pawn, but she no pawn. She at least a rook. Hachikuji was a rook that got sacrificed. Right? Because he's faking playing a game. Is that it? That he's like faking playing a game of shogi, i.e. faking maneuvering through life, but without an actual ideal? And so he's like faking moving pieces around, faking saving them from getting captured, actually sacrificing one to like actually like substantiate the illusion, i.e. a Hachikuji. This isn't a crazy analogy. And like everyone's left, you know? So I mean, even they could be sacrificed in a sense. Oshino was sacrificed perhaps in a sense. Kaiki's not showing his face. As I recall, the one who said that for a chaotic state to arise, a void is needed was Kaiki. Yeah, Araragi's allowing the void to be there through the lack of through the lack of deciding who the king is. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I like that. That locks for me. I do wonder why, like, how can Oshino bring that stability, right? Like, what specifically was it that Oshino did? I would have to, like, rewatch what Oshino did through Bake, pretty much. But, like, what was it specifically that Oshino did that allowed for stability to be reached without a king? That's, like, a crazy question. What I want to do is fill up that vacancy if by appearance only. If by appearance only. If by appearance only is a crazy thing to say from Gaen. Where it's like, you don't have to mean it, you just have to have something there, right? I mean, kind of like Kaiki type thing of like, the fake that attempts to be real more valuable than the real thing, you know? Like, what's the value of a fake kind of deal? That's like, oh, even if it's by appearance only, that's fine. Huh. Yeah. I mean, I would say that yeah. I mean, I as I've said, let me just kind of try to make it into a succinct line. The lack of established core, fundamental ideal as represented by the king has led to chaos as represented by Ogi. Right? Ogi is the darkness that has come in because there is no shining light that is the king to counter it, right? There is no like the core is, the foundation is broken, right? The foundation is broken because we lack a king. Ogi comes in as the element of chaos, as the darkness personified to get rid of that, or to deal with, to like as consequence. That's probably what I would say. Putting Yotsuki close to you as a restraint would work. As a restraint is such an interesting word. Yeah, and now we're losing pieces. We're losing more pieces. We've gotten even more collateral damage. And so we're at an impasse. And man, it's so sad that Sunjugaharu's just snow is melting in her hand as she's waiting for Araragi to show up. And then it melts completely. She looks up and he's not there because he's dead. But we got Hachikuji back, so we take those. She said she'd be back when we needed her, bro. Never for a moment did I doubt her. She is the goat, okay? She is the snail. Your actions. It's also funny that she says your actions because it's like, I mean, even says, it's not like I plan to act or anything. Like, absence of action is an action. Deciding not to act is a decision. Isn't that why Kagenui sent Ononoki to me? But Yotsuki is no longer able to carry out that job. So now you're free to go again, and you're free to cause problems. Which is going to make an equal and opposite reaction, Ogi, which is just chaos. Look at what this says. Dummy and demon. It's dummy and demon. That's crazy. So now you're able to act. You're already able to act, and there's no one that can stop you. Yeah. Man, it's crazy. It's almost like he's played both sides of the board a little bit because he's playing against Ogi, but he is Ogi, so he's playing both sides of the board, and so he's projecting onto Gaen when he's getting mad at her about that. But he's also playing without kings. He's playing a game of shogi, no kings on either side, where he's just sacrificing pieces. Boom. That's what Araragi's doing. Does that make sense? Does that make any sense? Am I smoking crack? A little bit. This is crazy. What are we gonna do? Dude, what is gonna happen in Owari? I am so intrigued on how this is gonna get, like, quote-unquote spoiled. I am so intrigued on that. What an insane... How... That someone dies? That Araragi dies? But we literally saw him die. So it's like... Hachikoji? The other side will act too. You don't have to think about who the other side is. In short, someone. Problem is, it's dangerous for you to act. Yeah, dude, the shogi metaphor goes hard. It's Araragi makes a move, which means it's the other person's time to make a move. And Ononoki was the one that made it so Araragi made no moves. Ononoki was a timer on the game that paused the game. Ononoki was the pause on the shogi game. And so Araragi couldn't play any moves, which means the other side couldn't play any moves, because all we're doing is, there's no winning or losing, we're just getting rid of pieces, which is non-productive and harmful. Because there's no core reason that we're actually fighting for or against. Because there's no core, because there is no king. Because Araragi hasn't made a king. It's a duel-like situation where the first to act becomes a loser. Wait, what? Say that again? Problem is, it's dangerous for you to act. Because then you'll be the loser. Or yeah, the other side is waiting for you to act. Exactly. Yeah. They require you to act, so it's their turn. It is quite the dilemma. And she doesn't trust Araragi to not act anymore because there's nothing to stop him, and Araragi has proved time and time again that when he sees a situation, he will do it, he will try to stop it. He's even admitted to himself with, like, the Tadatsuru arc, right? Yotsuki Doll, I think it was. He's even admitted to himself, like, if push comes to really shove, I'll probably jump in. You know, he said that a lot of times. Like, it's no secret. So when there's no longer people that can stop him, when there's no longer a tentative balance that can be struck or has been stricken, then we have to just get rid of the player. Gaen, dude, Araragi and Ogi are playing a game of shogi with no kings, and Gaen just walked up and lopped Araragi's head off with a sword to stop the game. Because there was no other way for her to stop the game anymore. To pause the game, to do anything with the game. And Araragi refused to put a king into play. I love this analogy. This analogy is so sick. My resolution is to kill you. It is also, man, it's such a Monogatari classic that, like, the big event, the big shock event, well, no, the real big shock event was Hachikuji. What a wonder. But, like, the shock event of Araragi getting killed, I mean, it's called Araragi dead, right? And then it literally, like, what, doesn't it open with him, Koyomi dead, I mean. And then it literally opens with this thing of, like, him getting chopped apart. Chapter 2 is him getting cut apart, and then we flashback. Like, it tells us what's going to happen. It premonitions itself. It's not trying to shock us with that, you know? Just classic. Dispel the darkness has been enveloping this town. I guess the town is what's interesting to me. That, like, what is the town, you know? Specifically. Because what I said was, like, Araragi, like, the town is Araragi is the town, right? It's, like, the management of, like, his soul or whatever. It's, like, his well-being or whatever. But then it's, like, killing him doesn't seem to be very productive for that end, but it does send him to Hachikuji land, which maybe means we're kind of chilling there. So it's a resolution strategy to dispel the darkness that's been enveloping this town. So it's like, what else could the town be other than something that's core to Araragi? Other than a representation of Araragi, what else could the town be, right? Because the thing that makes it so difficult for me is Araragi is that which prescribes what the king is, you know? Right? Because Gaen gave him the talisman. And it was through him and failing to, like, interact with Nadeko properly that, like, Nadeko was able to, like, promote herself to king, basically. She basically did, to make it into a chess analogy, she basically was a pawn that forced herself across the board. And instead of turning into a queen, she turned into a king because she cheated, right? Well, because there wasn't a king in play, I guess. I mean, that doesn't really make any sense with the game, but that's the point. It doesn't make sense, which is why it fell apart when Kaiki was thrown at it. Yeah, let's just keep going. This is nuts. What a nuts analogy. The phone... It's Senju Gahara calling Araragi. It's not calling Gaen. It's Senju Gahara calling Araragi to see where he is. No. She deserves better, dude. Senju Gahara deserves better than to be calling Araragi when he dies. It's almost like him thinking of his girlfriend, I think. He's thinking of the person he cares the most about, Senju Gahara. Man, but these diagrams of him getting cut apart are nuts. They look like illustrations on, like, in a butcher shop. Dude, look at the art on these. What? This is torso. Him. Where is that? That's like his midsection. As he's, like, bent forward. His, like, right at the belly button. Right above the, like, right at the rib cage, like, right above the nipples. Down the shoulder cleaved. Head chopped off. Neck cut. That's a crazy shot of Araragi. The jaw, like, right at the jaw hinge. The nose. the eyeball, the brain, down the middle with the head, into a million pieces. Wow, this image is crazy where he goes like fully cross-eyed and the blood like comes in with the blood's in focus. Like, are you joking? You already deaded him. And she has the true Oddity Slayer? Of course she does. Freaking Gaen, of course she does. And then look at all he flashbacks through everybody he cares about. The first one is Ogi, bro. The first thought he has is Ogi, then Ononoki, then Kagenui, Konburu, Hachikuji, Senjo. Wow, the last person he thinks of is Senjo. That's really sweet. Just kidding, I lied to you. Wait, I'm confused. Who is this girl? What? No, that's not Hachikuji. Who are you? Am I stupid? Wait, no, I'm way confused. What? No, because, okay, Senjo, Shinobu, Sengoku. Is this an Owari girl? Maybe this is an Owari girl. Okay, it's an Owari girl. Yeah? I don't recognize this girl. That wasn't Hachikuji then. No, because this is the girl that I thought was Hachikuji in the... No. So I was wrong about that thing earlier. Because it's this girl. Who are you? Off-brand Hachikuji? Wait. Huh? I have no idea who this character is. Am I stupid? I'm gonna lose it. I think it's just a... Okay, I think it's an Owari character I haven't met then. Okay, bet. Karen, Tsukihi, Hanakawa. Him as a child. Young Araragi, baby Araragi. His mom, him as a baby. Not his dad at all. That sort of resembled something I knew. The sword she swung was the real thing. Wow, he had the illusory one. Supposedly long since vanished, the original Oddity Slayer. Okay, so this girl... Okay, so we're gonna meet a new girl in Owari. I get it now. That wasn't Hachikuji. He also died here at the shrine. Where evil things are gathered. He kept going back there. I wonder if that's kind of a thing now. It's crazy. He just starts monologuing. He, like, continues the monologue even when he's dead. Man, and, like, this moment in the beginning when he was walking, and then he... Look at this. Naturally, I'm in no position to worry about Kagenui. This is his internal thoughts. We've heard this a million times before. But even so, I had unhonorably gone to the shrine every day. And then in the story, he says unhonorably. Unhonorably isn't even a word, is it? ... Yeah, dishonorably, right? So it's like he's telling us it as it's happening almost. Like, that's so different than we usually get it. Is it because he can't anymore? Because he's dead? Are we really... Would we just lose him? No, give me him back. That's my boy, Araragi. He's to the end of time. I'm not going to lose Araragi. He's my boy. Am I coping? This feels so scary to me. That it, like, linked those two realms together there. I'm losing confidence in myself. Yeah. So, okay, this random girl. What was it? Where was it? It was like... No, it was before this. Right here. No, but like... So this girl... I don't know. Because I don't think this is Hachikuji. Different hairbands, different everything. I thought it was Hachikuji just chilling in her pajamas or whatever. But I think it's actually the girl from these flashing, like, death thoughts. Her. Why is she doing the L pose? She really thinks she L. Right? Well, but the skin tone's so much different. I mean, in this shot, this girl has darker skin. Whereas the girl where? No, it was further back. This girl has lighter skin. But it could be just weird framing that makes her look like she has darker skin where she doesn't actually have darker skin. Yeah, that's almost what I would want to say. Man, it is crazy too that, like, there's almost like an analogy of like all the different people. Like Araragi doesn't like the idea that all the different people are pieces. He doesn't like the idea that people are pieces, right? That's what he gets mad at like Gaen for like thinking that like, oh, like I don't like the idea that like a friend is what like you see a friend as like a five-sided shogi piece. So is that part of why he refuses to play the game as he should, because he doesn't like objectifying people in that way? Like he doesn't trust himself to interact with people without making them into a game almost. I don't know about that. That's kind of crazy. There's some crazy thoughts. Go back to the flashing where you get murdered. Yeah, okay. I'm completely stuck on this girl. I think it's that girl from earlier. I assume we're going to meet her in Owari in the first half, and in the second half, Araragi dies, I guess, as we just saw. How are they going to do that? I don't know. And then we just come back, and then we keep moving forward? Huh? Okay, give me this Hachikuji again. Give me the Hachikuji again. What's the punchline, bro? The tree is here. It's that same tree. He, like, didn't move place. He didn't move, like, location. Like, the tree is a through line between both realms. Because it's at the shrine, too, and it's in this realm. That's cool. Dude, what? The beating of the eye is so crazy. The glare of the sun. Look, and we can see both eyes pretty well. Yeah, I know he comes back, though, because Hana Monogatari, you know? So it's just like... I thought it was Ogi, bro. You got a spooky shadow coming over me? Oh, that's Ogi. No. No, no, no. No, it's not Ogi. Rubber Robbie-san. And it's so funny, dude. He literally just replies to it like a rhythm. Like, he's not even paying attention, so he's just like... He does his normal Hachikuji response before he realizes it's her, bro. Oh my goodness, my darling. I'm so glad you're back. I'm so glad you're back. You're gonna clutch this out. Wow, look at that. I've never seen that before either, where they have a fade-in for this flash. Look at this, look at this. It's so different. Whoa, whoa, new cinematic. This is usually it's a hard cut. It's never been a gradient before. We're in a place where lines are blurred, man. So even this fades in because we're in a blurred place now. That I had loved once before, yearned for, and never expected to see it again. Me, dude. Oh my goodness. So is the punchline that Araragi couldn't make it to the exam location and failed the entrance exam? Hachiguchi, you gotta help me navigate this new place. Wow. That's crazy. Every other time he's been like, that's the punchline, that's the end. And this time he says, this time the punchline, I ain't accepting it. I am not accepting this punchline, and then black. Over. Gone. Dude. Hachi freaking Kuji. Man, I almost want to go back to do I have it saved? Do I have it saved? Let me see if I have it. I don't know if I have it easy to grab. The frick, what was second season? Oni? Monogatari. Bro, my stuff is such a mess. What is this? Which one is this arc? Wait, did I guess right? Is the end of Oni? Yeah, that's when she fades away, right? Yeah, doesn't she say she's gonna be back when we need her most? I wanna Hachikuchi goodbye. Play the Hachikuchi goodbye. Let me... Hachi, beloved. Learn to let go. So we're in the afterlife. Maybe someone can save. Maybe someone can revive us. We just go full oddity mode. I don't know. Is Ogi even been dealt with by Adaraki being dealt with? I would assume so. That it's just like forever Ogi's or forever Adaraki's turn in the Shogi game, but Adaraki's dead, so it'll never get played. Aww. The other side. What does Hachikuji say here? I could have sworn she said something. Maybe I'm thinking of way back at the start of Nisei. Maybe I'm thinking way back at the start of Nisei. The ghost of a ghost. I just love the imagery here too of like it's like the water above the tree. We're like above the tree. I feel like that has a cool like implication. But you won't let others? True, true, true. Not once have I been fine with it. That's such a good line. I've always fought while crying. And Onoki's just here to watch. I appreciate you, Ononoki, more. Ononoki's just here to make sure things go fine. From here on, I'll be looking out for you from up in the skies. True, she was watching. She was actually watching because she knew what was happening when we popped up. But that doesn't mean I was never here to begin with. So true. So true. I'll go up to a cabin or whatever he says. We just be lost forever. We fulfill your need as an oddity. Yeah, and some random thing. I love how I'm really just rewatching this entire half of this episode at this point. We take it, though. We take it. I don't even care. Hachi is just, I mean, to know that we're getting her back, means it's just, I gotta relive it again. Okay, we gotta run it back. You can't choose everyone. Gotta sacrifice some pieces. Can't be an Italian gentleman. Can't be a harem, bro. Ooh, and this remix as the leaf sinks, bro. I'll always be at your side. Right there! Like how I promised to return someday if you find yourself in a bind. And she did. My goat. My Hachikuji. Never doubted. Dude, thank you, Hachikuji. Thank you, Hachikuji. I should have written this down and framed it on my wall. That Hachikuji would return if we were in a bind. Because we're in a bind, and guess who showed up? It was Hachikuji. I believed her. I accepted the promise. That's what we're looking for. He let go. He let go. He let go. He let go. I'm finishing this episode out. I don't even. Lost on the streets by myself. One last time. I got bad news. It ain't the last time, Hachikuji. It's not bad news. I got good news. It ain't that last time, Hachikuji. In this story arc, don't fourth wall break me. Don't fourth wall break me. Man, Ononoki really does just undercover clutch everything. Right? Like boosting Hachikuji up. That's like really sweet. I like this scene actually. This is such a sweet scene. Look at Ononoki the goat. And they just end the episode because they're mean. Nah, but like Ononoki just being there to like make it work, you know? To boost her up. Just like I forget the word we kept using, but just those like acts of nonchalant kindness. That's exactly what she was there to do. What are we gonna do with this show, man? That's the end of Koyomi, bro. We've done it. I mean, so crazy to like seeing everybody's like faces flash by as he dies, including a girl we don't know yet. Is that like Otonoki's true self or something? Let me screenshot you. Okay. Okay, different skin color. We're already on the wrong path. I'm just looking at your eyes, like dun gray. Like Otonoki, you didn't. Do you look at anything like that? Like where are you at? Can you like look? What color? What color are your eyes, Ononoki? No, your eyes are literally teal. You look nothing like that. I'm literally smoking crack. The only reason it came up was because I was thinking of like the true identity of Ononoki is a thing that Kagenui was like sensitive about. Huh. He really went to his entire birth like that. It's crazy. He like goes back in time too, because he goes to his like young self and then to himself as a baby. And so as he like mentally regresses, then he meets Hachikuji. You know? That just feels right. That just feels so right. What a wonderful existence. Hachi freaking Kuji. Crazy fade too. Blurred lines. Where we at? New place. New place. Not a punchline we accept. Into Owari. Ding, ding, ding. Yeah, that was a nuts episode. Wow, wasn't expecting that at all. I was expecting something with Ogi, which it could still be Ogi stuff going on. We kind of got some more confirmation with the Ogi business I've been yapping about. Of like, there is an other, you know, there's somebody on the other side of the board kind of deal. But yeah, I would still say like, he's playing a game against Ogi, I would say, but I would say he's also playing a game against himself, right? Blah, blah, blah. I yapped about that for a minute there, so I won't care to repeat it. But yeah, what a fire episode. Honestly, so ready for a warrior. That should be very, very exciting. I've heard really good things about this next arc. I've heard people praising the heck out of this last chunk here, so I'm really excited to see where the show takes it. But yeah, that's all I got for this one. Episode 12 of Koyomimonogatari. On to the next epised 13. Should be exciting. Of course. If you like the video, Subscribe if you're new. It really does mean the world. Hit the notification bell as well. Dude, did you see that entire hair just fly by my face? That was crazy. Notification bell as well. Comment down below if you have anything to say, or join the Discord and talk to me other Monogatari fans there, or Koyomi Monogatari fans, or Owari Monogatari fans. But until then, until next episode, episode 1 of, I think it's Owari, right? I don't know. Until the next episode, whatever it is, should be exciting. I'll be seeing you then.